Hey there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Stay Together for the Kids by Blink-182. For the basics, you'll just need a guitar and standard tuning and no capo is required. Now, if you're fairly new to guitar and you're looking for some quick and easy wins, then I've created a free guide with 10 legendary songs you can play with just 3 chords or less. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Alternatively, if you're looking to build a strong and solid foundation on the guitar but you don't know where to start, then be sure to check out my Guitar Zero to Hero premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Let's jump into the lesson. Let's start with the intro, which is a lot of fun to play. In terms of tone, you just need a clean amp channel. You don't need any distortion or anything like that. Pretty simple. So the main riff just covers 2 bars of music. We're going to start with our middle finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string. So that's the D note there. So we're going to start with this note and then the open 4th string. Now, for this entire riff, what Tom DeLonge does is he actually down picks all of this. You could choose a different method, but we're going to be down picking everything. So down, down. For the next set of 3 notes, we keep our middle finger there. We're going to pluck the 5th string, then with your pinky finger go up to the 7th fret of the 4th string. Pluck that, then lift your pinky finger and pluck the open 4th string. So the second set of 3 notes. Now for the next set of 3 notes, it's very similar, except instead of going up to the 7th fret of the 4th string, we're going to use our free index finger here and pluck the 4th fret of the 4th string. So that's 5th string, then 4th fret of the 4th string, lift your index finger, open 4th string. So the final set of 3 notes. And we put that all together and the first half of this bar. Now for the second half of this bar, it's very similar, except our root note, the note on the 5th string here, is going to change to the 4th fret of the 5th string. So we play that with our index finger. So the first set of 2 notes is just 5th string, 4th string. Now for the next set of 3 notes, it's 5th string and then pinky up to the 7th fret of the 4th string and then pluck the open 4th string. For the final set of 3 notes, it's 5th string. With your index finger already here, just flatten it to hit that 4th fret of the 4th string. Alright, so 4th fret of the 5th, flatten to hit 4th fret of the 4th, and then lift your index finger to hit that open 4th string. So the final set of 3 notes. Alternatively, you could keep your index finger curled and use your middle finger here to fret that 4th fret of the 4th string like this. But what Tom DeLonge does is he actually just flattens his index finger there. So the second half of this bar. But if we were to use our middle finger, and the first bar in total. For the second bar, we take our index finger to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So this is our root note here. The first set of 2 notes is 5th string and 4th string. The next set of 3 notes is 5th string. Then with our ring finger or your pinky finger, it's up to you. I use my ring here. I'm going to go up to the 4th fret of the 4th string and then open 4th string. So, and the next set of 3 notes is 5th string, and then with your pinky, 5th fret of the 4th string, and then open 4th string. We put that all together in this first half of the bar. And then for the second half of this bar, we put our index finger down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. We're going to hit the open 5th string, 4th, open 5th, and then there's a 5-note run here. We're going to go 4th fret of the 4th string, 5th fret, 4th, 2nd, and open 4th string. So that 5-note run. Now you can do that with your ring, pinky, ring, and index, or you could play with your ring finger, slide up, back down, like that. It's completely up to you. I'm going to use my ring and pinky finger. So this is a good dexterity exercise for your fretting hand. So the second half of this bar. And the bar in total. In the intro, those 2 bars of music are played through twice. And the intro all together. and at a faster speed. Next we get to the verse, and there's 4 bars of music here. Now we're going to go up to a D5 power chord like this. So index finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, ring and pinky fingers on the 7th frets of the 4th and 3rd string. Alright, now what we're going to do here is we're going to hit the root note, which is the 5th string, twice, and then pluck the 4th and 3rd strings together. Alright, so that's one yenda. Now you'll notice that I have a note after that in brackets, which is back to the 5th fret. This is optional, I'll get to it in a moment, but let's just ignore those notes in brackets for the time being. I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but for now let's just consider each group of notes as 3 down plucks. 2 root notes, and then a pluck on the 4th and 3rd strings. That is repeated through 4 times for this bar, so 1 yenda, 2 yenda, 3 yenda, 4 yenda. The next shape is based off of B minor 7, so from the D5 power chord, keep your ring and pinky fingers where they are, put your middle finger on the 7th fret of the 6th string. So this is our new root note. Same thing applies, 2 plucks on the root note, and then a pluck on the 4th and 3rd strings on the end beat. We're going to play that 4 times for this bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now for the 3rd bar, we're going to quickly shift position. So index finger then goes to the 7th frets of the 4th and 3rd string. So you're just going to bar your index finger across like that. Our root note is now the open 5th string. So 2 root notes and a pluck of the 4th and 3rd strings on the end beat. Again, we play that 4 times for this bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now for the final bar, when we get to the end beat, we're going to actually put our pinky finger onto the 9th fret of the 3rd string. So it's 7th fret, 9th fret here. That happens on the end beat. So 1 yenda. Now we play that set of notes one more time. 2 yenda. And for the next set of notes, we start off the same 2 root notes, but then we shift down to this position. So 7th fret of the 4th string, 6th fret of the 3rd string. That shift occurs when we get to that end beat. So 3 yenda. And then again for the 4 yenda. 4 yenda. All right, so this final bar. 1 yenda, 2 yenda, 3 yenda, 4 yenda. And that is it for the verse progression, which sounds like this in total. Now, let's get back to those notes that are in brackets that I spoke about. Now, when Tom DeLonge plays this and in the studio recording, we actually go back to the root note quickly after we hit the 4th and 3rd strings. So it's actually a set of 4 notes, not a set of 3 notes. 1 yenda. This is a little bit trickier on the fretting hand, especially for beginners. It's probably easier to start with the 3-note chunks rather than the 4-note chunks where we need to go back to the root note. But if we go back to the root note, the main riff will sound like this. And this is how Tom DeLonge actually plays it. It's completely up to you which method you choose. For the playthrough at the end of this lesson, I will be using the 3-note chunk, just because that's a bit simpler to grasp, especially for the beginners who are mostly learning this song. But if you do want a bit more of a challenge, then you can include that note in brackets. Now we get to chorus number 1. There's 2 lines of tab here. We're gonna start with the G5 power chord. So index finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string and pinky on the 5th fret of the 5th string. Now in terms of tone, I've now switched to a distorted tone. On my Boss Katana, I've gone to the brown guitar amp, which is a naturally high gain amp. Alternatively, you could put a distortion or overdrive pedal in front of your clean amp channel and you get a similar result. So this is our G5 power chord shape. It's really important that you also have all the other strings muted. That way you could really dig into this chord and just strum everything and it'll still sound good. But if you have the other strings ringing, it's gonna sound a bit messy, all right? This is a great habit to get into if you're playing power chords and generally for rock, punk, and metal guitar playing. So with our index finger fretting the 3rd fret of the 6th string, I'm also resting it on top of all the other strings. I'm not applying pressure onto the strings, I'm just making contact with those and only applying pressure to the note that I want to ring it, which is the 6th string in this case. So when I strum, you only hear these 2 notes ringing out. Okay, so we're going to be strumming this at 16th notes, so 1, 2, and 3, and 4. For the next chord, it's a D/F sharp. So we shift our index finger down 1 fret to 2nd fret of the 6th string. Now you can just play those 2 notes, but you could also include your ring finger onto the 4th fret of the 4th string. It's completely up to you. You can do 2 strings or 3 strings. Now we're going to be strumming this at 16th notes as well, but for the last 2 strums here, we're going to lift our index finger, so it's open 6th string, and then put that index finger back down. Right? So the bar in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice those last 2 strums, open, back with the index finger. That's the first line of tab, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's repeated through 3 times. And then for the second line of tab, it's almost the same, except when we get to this D/F sharp, I'm just strumming it up into the end beat after the 4, and then I'm stopping. So that will give me a little bit of time to switch tones back to clean and get back to our intro riff. So the second line of tab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. After that first chorus is a break, which is the same as the intro riff. Then the second verse. Now in the studio recording, the second verse is played a little bit differently. It's really just the 7th frets of the 4th and 3rd string played on the end beat. So 1 yenda, 2 yenda, 3 yenda, 4 yenda. Again and again, continuously. And if you listen, there's piano and bass that are doing sort of everything else around it. So the guitar has reduced in complexity here for verse number 2 for the studio recording. However, if you watch them play this live, Tom DeLonge just plays exactly what he played in verse number 1 for verse number 2. So that's what I'm going to do. In the playthrough at the end, for verse number 2, I'm just going to play what I played in verse number 1. Then there's chorus number 2, which is the same as chorus 1, and then we get to the bridge. Again, we just switch back to clean tones, and we're just strumming some chord shapes. So we start with a D, strum that, and we'll hold that up for a full bar, and then we go to a G. Now you can play a full G chord if you want to, but I'm just going to play a G triad. So it's 5th fret of the 4th string, 4th fret of the 3rd, 3rd fret of the 2nd string, like that. And then I'm going to hold that up for 2 beats and slide this exact shape up 2 frets. So that's an A. And we repeat that again and again. So those 3 chords, 1 yenda, 2 yenda, 3 yenda, 4 yenda, 1 yenda, 2 yenda, 3 yenda, 4 yenda. You play that through 4 times and that's it for the bridge. Then we go back into that heavy power chord riff, which basically ends the song. The song fades out. However, I'm going to cap it. So I'm going to play this first line of tab through 7 times, and then the second line of tab, when we go to the D/F sharp, we just hold onto that for the entire bar, and then we end the song with a D5 power chord. But in the studio recording, you will hear that the song just gently fades away. Those are all the guitar parts of this song. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song with a vocal track on top for some context. Again, if you're looking for some quick and easy wins, I've created a free guide with 10 legendary songs you can play with 3 chords or less. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons here. Or if you want some easy guitar wins, then I've put together a free guide with 10 legendary songs you can play with just 3 chords or less. You can grab that by clicking below. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.